What is up, cousins? Welcome back to the channel. Today I am doing a quick eyebrow tutorial showing you all how I achieve my flawless eyebrows. So I start off with moisturizing my face, and I'm using the Sunflower Sweet Serum from Bahi Cosmetics. Then I go ahead and I use setting powder from Covergirl in order to set my eyebrows. I use it as oil control because my eyebrows tend to get really oily because I also use a very oil-based product. So I'm using the e.l.f. Brow Pomade, and I'm going in with an angled brush. I think this is a very important step to have an angled brush because it makes it a lot easier. And I'm using the dark brown shade in the pomade. So then I start off by sculpting out the brow and shaping it in the way that I would like it. I don't use too much product in the at the top parts at the beginning. I just use whatever is in the remaining of the brush. I apply a product wherever I see fit, wherever I see it needs to be a little darker. And a nice like rule of thumb that I use, I have the ends of the eyebrows towards where the arch is. I make that a little bit darker. And when it comes time to do the front of the eyebrow, I don't apply any more product. I just drag out what product is already on the brush. So now I'm going in with the concealer, and this is going to clean up the eyebrows. This is going to really define the shape that I want. So I start off using the tip of that flat brush. I don't use the sides. I use the tip because I find that it's easier, but who knows, using the sides might even be easier as well for you. And I try to get the lines as sharp as possible in order to make the arch as clean as possible. And then I just drag the product down, which is why I think that this type of brush, the flat brush, is the best for this technique. So I drag it all the way down to my eyelid because when I also do my eyeshadow, I like to start with a very neutral base. And I get that neutral base by using concealer. So it's like a two birds, one stone. I also drag out the concealer to the bridge of my nose to elongate the eyebrow. So although we didn't put product there, it also still kind of cleans it up and makes them look a little bit thicker as well because I have pretty thin eyebrows. And so for the top, I like to use a darker concealer, one kind of closer to the skin tone than the ones that we use at the bottom, because you want to highlight underneath the brow bone and not at the top. Because if you use a lighter concealer at the top, you'll create like a halo effect and you'll have like this light shadow around your eyebrows. And that goes especially for my darker skin folk out there. So that's something to just be careful of. But it's okay if you don't have two different shades. You just have to blend a little bit harder. And so again, I said I like to stretch out the concealer all the way to the middle, kind of creating a unibrow, because I just like the look that it achieves. And so now I'm blending it out with a larger flat brush, just so that it covers more ground. And I'm doing that same dragging out motion. And at the top, I'm dragging up and dragging out to the side. Being very careful to not mess up the sharp lines that we just created with the concealer, though. And so can you see how I have the halo effect here already? It would be much more intensified if I would have used a lighter concealer at the top. But it just takes a lot more blending, that's all. So now I'm going in with a blending brush. So it's kind of got the same shape as a beauty blender, that rounded tip. So it makes it easier to blend out. So I'm just blending, blending, blending. Now, remember that unibrow I said, we don't want no unibrow now. So I just take my brush and I just go right in the middle of there and I go as far back to where I see fit. If I want longer eyebrows, I'll have longer ones. I won't go as far out. And now I take a smaller blending brush just to get in really in between those finer areas, because the bigger brush may mess up some of our sharp lines. So now what I do is I go back over the eyebrows just in case, like when we were blending, we kind of dusted off some products. And so I just kind of sharpen it back up really at the end. So not really at the top, but the beginning of the eyebrow, just really at the end. Because I want people to see the eyebrows, you know? And then I take that small blending brush and I do like the fade effect. So I just kind of take off some of the product that's at the top. And so then I go in with some foundation to top it all off. And so then now we're just blending out my foundation. Just making it real nice and even. And boom, there you have it, folks. Eyebrows to slay to the gods. So thank you all for watching. And don't forget to try this method out for yourself. Comment, like, subscribe, share. And thank you all for watching. I'll be back with more videos.